New Castle Kandar update patch notes. Let's go over them. New map, Castle Kandar. We already knew that. We already knew we're getting new content. We got 2 new weapons, the mace and the explosive crossbow. If you want a little more information on what those weapons and all that stuff looks like, you can check out the video that came out yesterday. We got new outfits for both Survivor and Demon. The Necromancer gilded attire. It's all gold. It looks really cool. Henry the Red Scottish vibe. He's got his kilt on. He looks cool. Lord Arthur battle prep. Gets rid of the chainmail, so he's got those nice flowing locks. That's really nice. Ash Williams, S. Martin, Gallant Knight skins sold separately. Those are the pre-order skins. If you don't have them, you can now get them. The new game mode is Exploration. Once again, I went into this a little bit yesterday, but I'm hearing reports that you can't pick the map, which I can't believe they shipped that mode, which is all about getting to explore certain maps, and they don't let you pick which one. So if you want to explore the new Castle Kandar map, you just have to click on the mode and hope that it gives you the map you want. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting the map you want. I don't know why they did that. Why would you let people pick the map? That's outrageous. And also the mode apparently is kind of weird because the map has like all the like trap portals and stuff are activated, and there's like enemies all over the place, and boss units can spawn. It's really weird. It sounds really strange. Added option to buy and customize screamers. Once again, you could have seen yesterday's video. That's a new thing where when you jump scare somebody or you get jump scared, it changes the thing that pops up on your screen. New features, push to talk. We knew about that yesterday, big deal. Added FX for stunned units. Added FX for when the car when it disappears. Added functionality and collection for when outfits/characters are not unlocked, so that's nice. Instead of like, if you haven't completed the missions before, it would just show that you like only have one person in the collection. Now it will show like, oh, this person is here, but they're locked. Pretty basic, but nice to have. Anti-aliasing option and motion blur. Big deal for PC. I'm definitely going to turn motion blur off as soon as I get the chance. I'm really happy to see that. Controller sensitivity. This has been a long requested feature. I'm glad that they're finally going to get that for like console and stuff. Performance mode, quality mode, and Xbox Series S. I don't have a Series S. I don't know if that's relevant or not. If you have one, let me know if that's important to you. Fix for 16:9 and 16:10 resolutions. Okay. If you're someone who uses that kind of a resolution, let me know if that's a big deal. Change the Master of Crossbow skill to affect all crossbows in the game. So, hey, there you go. So Hinky was right yesterday. Why Evil Dead 2 Ash like doesn't have that feature for the boomstick and the double barrel, but for some reason Ed does for all crossbows. I don't know, but that's a thing. General bug fixes. Now, I don't like this. I wish they would just list the bug fixes. That's not good. Like, there's going to be big bug fixes in this. We already know that, like, animation canceling has been fixed. I think they actually get into animation canceling maybe later on. Maybe not. But one of the things that I'm 99% sure is in this patch, for instance, is a fix to Kelly's level 25 skill that's so broken that applies to her ranged as well as her melee, even when it's only supposed to apply to her melee. I wish we just got a list of all the bug fixes, because now we got to play this guessing game of what got fixed and what didn't. And I hate when we have to do that, because there are some things that are really well known, like the level 25 Kelly glitch, but there are a lot of things that aren't very well known, like the Scotty glitch. So there's multiple Scotty glitches right now, but that's something that's really like popped up recently. So now we don't know, is the Scotty thing fixed or not? We're going to have to test it and find out. And that's annoying. I wish it would just tell me. Balance changes, ranged weapon damage changes. As you can see, everything got nerfed across the board. Even the stuff that was already not very good got nerfed, like the saw gun. Shotguns got hit pretty hard. They got hit harder than the others. As you can see, like 85 to 55 on the shotgun legendary, boomstick legendary from 95 to 60. We'll have to test and see what this is like in game. But these were still too strong. I don't mind these nerfs at all. I won't go into too much detail because I'm really just here to report on the patch notes and not give too much of my opinion, because that'll probably come at a later date. But yeah, the range damage is probably too strong. Like if you found a boomstick, like a legendary boomstick, early game as a hunter is basically GG. Like you could just two tap every single unit in the game. So this is probably warranted. We'll see once we get our hands on this patch whether or not it was too much or what. But definitely there was a range nerf that needed to be seen. Melee weapons dismemberment damage. They just changed the chainsaw. We talked about this yesterday. Chainsaw got buffed and dismemberment damage across the board. That's really nice, because I always felt like the chainsaw should be the best weapon in the game. I don't think that this might not make it the best weapon in the game, but hey, it's a step in the right direction. Maybe it does make it the best weapon in the game. We'll have to test it out in game and look at all the stats and everything, but it's nice to see the chainsaw get a buff, because I always felt that it should be the best weapon in the game. Kind of like how the boomstick is the best weapon on the range side. Love this change. Support range change from 5 meters to 8 meters. Yes! You no longer have to be cheek to cheek with Pablo and support Ash in order to heal people, which is really nice. I'm going to assume, though, that this winds up being a nerf to Cheryl, because it says various bug fixes, and she had a bug where, like, her healing range leveled up as she did, and it got to the point where, like, at maximum was like 12 meters or something. So it's probably going to feel worse to play Cheryl now, but it'll feel better to play the other two. So overall, I'm happy with this change. This is nice. Possess unit damage. Berserker got changed from 35 to 45. Demi Elegos changed from 50 to 60. Elegos changed from 60 to 65. So it looks like Elegos got changed across the board and is getting buffed across the board. So that's a good thing, because everyone kind of thought that Elegos was the weakest demon. Possess card percentage of infernal energy subtracted per hit from 20% to 10%. Card damage to survivors 175 to 200. I love the card damage to survivors. It doesn't do enough. It could probably do even more than this, to be honest with you, because if you get hit by a car, you're jabroni. I don't know how I feel about this. 20% to 10%. I already felt like it was kind of difficult to... Like, this basically makes it to where the only way you're going to be able to stop a demon from taking your car and driving it off is if you're in a full team. Maybe people want that. Maybe that's what they want to see. I don't know. We'll have to see gameplay-wise, like, whether or not that's something that feels good. But one of the things that's kind of rapidly becoming an issue now is possessing cars around the map and just flipping them right away. The new map on Castle Kandar has a thing where cars don't spawn in until you get close to them. I think that's unique to Castle Kandar and is not available on the other two maps. I hope that eventually comes to the other two maps, because that's a really like cool way of fixing that issue. So hopefully we see that. Infernal energy units possession cost, warlord basic unit cost from 20 to 60, maintain cost from 15 to 0.4. So across the board, basic unit possessions are now, it now costs more to possess and it costs more to maintain the possessions. However, I've seen reports that as you upgrade possession, like level 3 possession or something, makes it so that this goes back down. It reduces it by 75%. So basically it makes it so it's really hard to spam possessions in the early game, but you could still do it in mid to late game. So that's a good change. That's exactly what I think people wanted, which is, hey, If people want to keep spamming you with basic after basic in the mid game, that's fine. It's just not acceptable to have that happen early game before people can even find loot. So this is a really good change, especially with the way they did it, so that you could still play this way if you want to once you get to the mid game. Infernal energy units possess costed events. I like this change too. This makes it so that it goes from 40 to 20, maintain cost from 35 to 15. So across the board on all units, it basically makes it so it's easier to well, never mind. I read the first part of this wrong. It's making it so that Puppeteers, it's a buff to where it costs less. But for all the other units, it's a nerf. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I like that. Oh, it's for the elites where it costs more. I still don't know if I like that. So basic units for the Puppeteer, it's easier to spam basic possessions. But for elite units on all 3 demons, it now costs more. I don't know if I like that at the page and the dagger. I think this is a good thing for the book, because very rapidly we're starting to see an issue where demons have learned that if they just completely ignore survivors and just spam like possessions at the book and just attack the book, they could just kill the book without even having to, like, you basically can't be stopped. Like, you depending on how you spec your demon. This will make it harder to do that, because like one of the main ways to do that was to play Necro and then spawn in Evil Ash just for his ability to resurrect units, and then use that to keep possessing elites and attacking the book. And you know, you get all these ads back that help block the survivors from hitting you, so it made it like impossible to stop them from killing the book. So it's a positive change in that regard, but I don't know if I like it for dagger pages. But hey, demon mains will have to tell me how they feel about that. Maybe there's something going on with dagger and pages that I don't know about that made that too strong, but I didn't feel like it just playing. So I guess we'll see what happens. Possessed units balance. Basic unit balance from 400 to 325, 330 to 270. So this is kind of surprising. Basic unit balance and elite unit balance got nerfed across the board so that now they are easier to stun. I have also heard reports that once again, this is a nerf early game and that they get that balance bar stuff back and then some later on. So like as they upgrade possession throughout the match, they eventually get to the point where they're even harder to stun than before. But to start, they're easier to stun. So I like that. I like that they're not as this makes them not as threatening early game, but more threatening late game, which again is something that I think people really wanted. So that's good to see. Demon upgrade possession. Possession costs have been raised across categories to include maintaining possession cost reduction, possession initial cost, and possession balance. Cost scale upwards from level 1 to level 5. So this is what I talked about. Basically makes it so as you are upgrading possessions that eventually you're going to get to the point where you could spam basics as usual once you get to kind of mid game to late game. So that's nice. Warlord and Necro have a required threat level 6 to unlock possession upgrade. Again, threat level 6 isn't much. Like, you can get to threat level 6 pretty quickly if you're a good demon, but it does prevent those games where the demon spawns in and they've memorized like spawn logic and they just make a beeline straight to the survivors, and they find the survivors before the survivors have even gotten to a nearby house. This will fix that so that they at least have a chance to find some loot and they get an opportunity to like fight back. So that's a good change. Demon upgrade boss. Boss unit will have increased damage and health on level 4 and 5 for boss upgrade. Another good change. Another thing that we've really advocated for is, you know, nerfing basic units, but then buffing the demon in other ways. So here it is right here. We'll see what happens with the book. Again, I'm still kind of worried because that's the new thing that's popping up. That seems like that's the thing that's going to replace basic unit possessions, is just winning at the book by just ignoring survivors and attacking it. we'll see what happens. We'll have to monitor that, but like just reading this right now without having tested it, I think it's a good change. Demon Vision upgrade has been increased. Distance at level 1 is 5 meters, level 2 10 meters, level 3 15. And basic Demon Vision has been reduced from 100 to 85, so it got a nerf, and now you need to actually upgrade it to get it back to its base value of 100. I don't know how much of a difference this is going to make. It's a good thing no matter how you slice it, because it's going to make it harder for the demon to just find the survivors super fast. And now it makes actually upgrading Demon Vision worth it. I've seen lots of comments on YouTube videos saying that this is exactly something they need to do. Whether or not this is enough will remain to be seen, but it is a nerf and it is something people have asked for. So I'm still happy to see it. Puppeteer, Puppet Master, Invigorating Possession. The amount of energy recovered per hit is changed from 0.5 to 1 at level 1 of this skill, and from 1 to 2 at level 2, so that's a buff. This is probably a good buff as long as they, fix that bug where you could still like shoot down bodies and gain energy. So it was the shooting down bodies infinite possession exploit from before, but unique to Puppeteer. So hopefully that got fixed and the bug changes. Add Weapon Master crossbows. The extra damage has been decreased from 20 to 10%. It stinks to see, but I see why they did it, because I think that they made it so that now that they've made it so that his weapon mastery applies to both the regular and the explosive crossbow, they probably needed to lower that in order to keep the explosive crossbow at an acceptable range, because the explosive crossbow is probably going to be really popular because it's going to be the only ranged weapon in the game that does some sort of AoE damage. So if you made it like super crazy, then it could become a serious issue, because then you could become some god at not just killing ads, but also killing bosses, and that wouldn't be good. So I understand why they nerfed this. Kelly's Battle Frenzy, the extra damage per stack has been increased from 1% to 2%. This is something that was talked about over the last bug fix patch, where there were theories that maybe it was just a band-aid fix until they could get a real patch out. And that appears to be exactly what it was, where now her Battle Frenzy has been fixed so that it correctly only applies to melee, and that nerfing it from 2% to 1% was just a band-aid fix until they could get out the bug fix. So now it's been reverted back to 2%, which is exactly what I thought would happen, and that's exactly what happened, so good to see. Scotty, Thunder Thrust damage increased from 100 to 150. This was needed. However, this is assuming that his bugs, his exploits that makes it so that he could hit Q to apply the damage of his last attack has been fixed. It's really inconsistent and really hard to apply, but when it does happen, it's a big deal. Truthfully, this could probably be buffed even again, but we'll see what happens. Especially if the bugs, the exploits got fixed on Scotty, this could probably be buffed even further, but it's still a buff, which is a good thing. Lord Arthur, Fuel the Fire, extra duration per finisher has increased from 3 seconds to 5 seconds. This is good to see, because Lord Arthur inexplicably got a nerf in the last balance patch when he's probably the weakest of the 3 leaders, and I'm going to assume that his bug also got fixed, so now he's definitely the weak. He was arguably the worst of the 3 leaders with his bug that applied his aura effect to ranged as well as melee. Now he's definitely the worst, and so we'll see what happens here. But this is a good buff. It's good to see that he got a buff, because he's the worst of the 3, and this will make it better for him to keep his ability up, and that's just nice to see, because I think he needs it. All right, so there you go. Here are the patch notes for today's Castle Kandar update, and Castle Kandar is out now, so you can queue up and play it. Let me know what you think about these patch notes. I'm sure there'll also be people that will provide information on some of the bug fixes that have shipped out with these patch notes. And let me know what you think. Let me know any of your thoughts, everything. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate it. Please subscribe as always, and thank you for watching.